on August 12th, state troopers responded to a crash on Florida's Turnpike in St. Lucie County, and 3 occupants of the minivan are now dead. Here is what you see, the aftermath of the accident. Wait a minute, who was president in 2018 saying, oh yeah, Trump was the president? The reason this dude was driving and on the road is because they gave him a license.
What Newscomb are doing and what Bass is doing are unforgivable.
The illegal U-turner, and his story gets worse. He's got a horrific background responsible for much more than just the recent death of 3 people on the highway in Florida. This was the report that came out from Florida Highway Patrol. And this is the latest update saying on August 12th, state troopers responded to a crash on Florida's Turnpike in St. Lucie County. The crash involved a minivan and a commercial semi-truck and trailer. And based on our initial investigation, but on ongoing criminal investigation, it is evident that this driver exhibited disregard, driving the commercial truck recklessly without safety for others, attempting to execute a U-turn in an unauthorized location, and 3 occupants of the minivan are now dead. And if you saw the video, it was horrific. And so we'll just play a little bit of it so you can see exactly what went down in the before and after components here. But this is the inside of the cab, and you can see the driver of the cab in the cab is making a U-turn, and you can see him turning right there and see that car coming right now. He's making a big U-turn. There's that car right up there in this area of the screen that's going to be making its way across. He's turning. His entire back of his vehicle is hanging out there, and the van crashes into it, right? And obviously we know what happens after that. They die, and his reaction after is pretty horrific. Now, here is what you see, the aftermath of the accident. Caused this whole situation here. We've got the wreckage being removed, and they just kind of parse over to him. There he is. Oh, well, that's a bummer. Probably shouldn't have turned around right there. And of course, the scene is a disaster. So rest in peace to the people involved in that. Now, state troopers obtained a criminal arrest warrant for the driver. His name is Harjinder Singh, for 3 counts of vehicular homicide. And there are more stories about his record from before this and how horrific it was. During the course of the criminal investigation and with the assistance of ICE, they determined that this dude entered into the United States illegally, having crossed into the border with Mexico in 2018. Came right across. Now, what's happening on this is Gavin Newsom is turning around and saying, wait a minute, who was president in 2018? Saying, oh yeah, Trump was the president when he came in. Problem with this, came in through California and got a driver's license in California, and then went to Florida, was driving around on his California driver's license. So in California, they don't validate or care if you're a citizen or not. So they just give you driver's licenses. Other states will check and validate that. California didn't. And so the reason this dude was driving and on the road is because they gave him a license. And now they'll say, consistent with federal law, it's California law that you must have lawful presence in order to get a CDL. Well, how'd he get one then, Gavy? Because you guys don't check, you don't care, you don't validate their lawful presence. Everybody knows it. And, you know, attorneys and everybody says, well, just go to California, get a license over there. You can't get one in Arizona. You can't get one in Texas. Just go to California. Just get one over there. And because they'll just hand them out. So Governor Newsom is trying to blame Trump for the fact that his state is a sanctuary state, and his illegal alien lovers are coming in here and murdering Americans with their recklessness. So here's more. The actions taken by Harjinder while operating a commercial tractor trailer are both shocking and criminal. 3 people lost their lives as a result of his recklessness, and countless friends and family members will experience the pain of their loss forever. Harjinder Singh is in custody on state vehicular homicide charges and immigration violations. He will no longer be able to damage and destroy the lives of Floridians and its visitors. At the conclusion of his state charges, he will be deported. Hopefully he's, in prison forever. The Florida Highway Patrol remains committed to enforcing both state and federal laws to ensure people that are a danger to others face justice. And we have, great troopers who had to respond to the scene and clear out the bodies. Just a horrific thing. So Governor Newsom trying to pass the buck, trying to pass the blame. And we saw the press release. Now, the footage was awful. Bill Malugin said, yeah, DHS and ICE confirmed that this driver is an Indian national who initially crossed the California border, okay, so came into Gavin's state illegally in September 2018 and was arrested by Border Patrol. Now, Harjinder Singh was processed for expedited removal by the first Trump administration, but he claimed fear of going back to India. Oh no, credible fear, which is what they all say. Okay, it's just like, yeah, just say this, yeah. Just say you're afraid of what? I don't know, pupusas? Say the pupusas gang, papusa roaming bands of papusa gangs are coming out to steal your papusa money. That sounds pretty good. I don't know if they have pupusas in India, but I'm sure they've got some type of food that he can talk about. So by the first Trump administration, but he claimed fear. So then immigration affirmed the fear via a positive finding of fear. And we saw that they just do that. It's like, it's nothing. Okay. As long as you just articulate something, the judges are like, perfect. You're spiders? You're afraid of spiders in India? Me too. I hear they're huge over there. So you get to stay here because I wouldn't want to go back there either. You know how many bugs are over there? So I'm just going to stay over here. So find it, like the example of this, I'm not being facetious. It's Kilmar. It's the Kilmar Abrego case. Specifically, he was claiming that his mom's pupusa business was under attack. And the judge's like, wow, there's gangs out there and it's pretty prominent business. Okay. So he has remained in immigration proceedings ever since. So they affirmed it. He was released on a $5,000 immigration bond in 2019 after being given a notice to appear. And he's remained in immigration proceedings ever since, driving around killing people. Singh was arrested by U.S. Marshals in California on Saturday on a warrant for 3 counts of vehicular homicide in connection with the crash in Florida. So he left. He went back to California. He's like, Gavin, save me. Photo of his arrest provided to Fox via federal source. Florida officials say the sanctuary state of California gave him a commercial driver's license. So how come your state, Gavin, gave him a license if it's illegal? According to Singh, he has according to Fox, no serious physical or medical conditions. He claims to have no known immediate relatives serving in the U.S. military. He's not a primary caretaker of a person with a mental or physical disability, a minor, or any person with serious illness. Singh claims not to be married, no minor dependent children, not a victim of domestic violence or human trafficking. After careful consideration of all factors, Singh is considered a significant threat to public safety and is an exceptional circumstance warranting enforcement action due to the serious nature of his criminal history. And San Francisco is seeking approval to place him in removal proceedings. Here's this dude driving around, flipping a U-turn, killing 3 people just driving down the road. Absolutely sick. Now, Gavin posted this, hey, genius. You guys already confirmed that this guy meets federal and state immigration requirements, and you issued him a work permit, is what Gavin is saying. Trisha McLaughlin from Homeland says that's false. Harjinder Singh is in the United States illegally, and his work authorization was rejected under the previous Trump administration on September 14, 2020. It's in the documents. It was later approved under the Biden administration, June 9th, 2021. So get your facts straight, Gavin. The state of California issues CDLs. There is no national CDL. Sincerely, genius. Oh, well done, Trisha McLaughlin in the House explaining how it worked to Gavin. Man, that's a good one. And so we'll just repost that one right there. And we got this is the individual driving the car responsible for murdering recklessly 3 individuals in vehicular homicide. Now, this was just one horrific accident in a long lineage of horrifying accidents. You can see in this story, a trucking company and a driver got sued. What happened? Well, he did this. Oh no. He drove a big fat truck onto a bridge that couldn't support it. Guess who did that? Yeah, Harjinder Singh. Singh was reportedly hauling a load of processed chicken when his GPS device led him to Del Bend Bridge. Though there were signs posted at the bridge warning the driver about the 6-ton weight limit, he attempted to cross the bridge anyways in his 38-ton truck. Oh my gosh. 38 tons. Okay. It probably can't even read. And by the way, I've represented a lot of truckers in my day, a lot of truckers. And most truckers are amazing people, amazing Americans. And they have the ability to read and write English and speak English and understand the road. but there was a certain percentage of people who would come through. And it was interesting because when I was practicing, we used to handle a lot of traffic cases. And there were certain areas like on the I-40, this corridor over in Seligman, you remember it as Route 66, where there would just be, tons of cops, tons of police officers hanging on overpasses and specifically doing CDL enforcement. Like there was one cop who would sit on an overpass there and look in the front window. So the semis would drive under it. He would look in, he'd radio his friend down and say, that guy's on his cell phone. That guy didn't have a seatbelt on. That guy was looking, was distracted while driving, whatever. And then the other guy would pull him over. So my point is, we represented a lot of them and a lot of truckers. And there was a percentage of them who just could not read and write or speak English. And what would end up happening would be their companies would hire us, or they would hire like these representation plans. And then people would bundle up their cases and you go into court, resolve a bunch of them together. So there's like a whole process there, but there were some cases, man, I'd be like, I try to talk to this person, not a word of English, couldn't read or write English at all. And you're thinking, how can you drive on the roadways? And in fact, there's a charge, can't read or write English. And there have been, I've represented people with that charge specifically. So it's a very curious thing. This guy obviously could not see this sign, which says right here, 3 tons, 4 tons, 6 tons, weight limit. Guys driving 30 plus tons. Insane. And just wrecks the building there. So what we're seeing is a reaction to this. I think even a lot of people are looking at the video, looking at this horrific scene and wondering whether that could happen to them any moment. And this is because semi-trucks are very dangerous. We see them driving around and people get very skittish. They start weaving within the lanes, right? So you start to think about the fact that we've got illegal aliens who are supposed to be validated, getting commercial driver's licenses and killing individuals on the road. That's a big problem. So Stephen Miller was out. He said, Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, by enabling these sanctuary cities, by allowing them to come in, handing them licenses, allowing them to travel all across the country on the pretext of a California license, and then kill other presumably American citizens. We don't know the details on the deceased. And then to have the cowardice and to have the lack of integrity that you just blame everybody else. You blame Trump for this, even though Trump was the person who has been the most consistent in securing the borders and waging a battle against the sanctuary cities. It's shameless and dishonest and pathetic. And Stephen Miller came out to set the record straight on the fact that Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass and the rest of the sanctuary city illegal alien lovers are responsible for deaths in America, and they have blood on their hands.
Los Angeles and the governor of California were in the largest sanctuary city and the largest sanctuary state in America. They refused to turn over tens of thousands of serial criminal illegal aliens to ICE. So they get arrested by state or local authorities and they get cut loose. They then go on to commit crimes like assault, armed robbery, home invasion, and murder. The most unimaginable, egregious crimes you could think of. All of that blood, all of that suffering, all of that heartache, squarely on the soul and conscience of California's governor and the mayor of Los Angeles. They are guilty of crimes against humanity. Yep. They are facilitating child trafficking, sex trafficking. Look, they think this is a game. They think this is a joke. This is life and death. When you meet with the families, as you have, Griff, whose loved ones have been raped and killed and slaughtered by criminal illegal aliens who have no right to be in this country, what Newsom are doing and what Bass is doing are unforgivable. And God bless our ICE agents and Border Patrol agents for going out there and doing this mission on behalf and on the orders of President Trump to make America safe for our citizens. The Democrat Party seems to only care about two groups right now, criminals and illegal aliens. And that's it. Donald Trump's Republican Party is fighting for law-abiding American citizens, and you're seeing the results right here in Washington, D.C., where the most violent city that we have in this country is now becoming, day by day, and will become one of the safest cities in the whole country.
And what's so pathetic about it is that they just can't even accept responsibility for their policy decisions. Just say you love sanctuary cities, you want illegal aliens coming in, you hand them driver's licenses, apparently CDLs too. So not only do you get regular driver's licenses, but CDL licenses, they just validate that. Joe Biden approved it, good enough for Gavin. So own it. Own your policy. Just say, hey, we need these people to come in here. We need truck drivers, okay? If, people are going to get killed by them. Some of them are going to be morons, but we need them, okay? We need them to, transport goods or whatever. Like, back up your policy. Come out and defend it. Stand behind it. Don't blame Trump for letting this guy in and then killing people. You guys did that, Gavin. And now you don't want to accept responsibility for it because you're pathetic.